Tonight's peace talk is called "There is Only One Way to Build a Peaceful World." There is a difference between ending all existing skirmishes and building a peaceful world. That we have equated the two shows our inherent misunderstanding of peace's true nature. Ending all skirmishes brings us to the ceasefire position in the cycle of belligerence. It ends all fightings for now. It ends all fighting for now. But a ceasefire is a kind of season. Like spring, it does not stay. Spring is always followed by summer. Likewise, as long as humanity is within the cycle of belligerence, a ceasefire will always be followed by fighting. We are within a cycle of belligerence because the outside world, the experienced world, mirrors back to us what is inside of us, and what we are holding in our conscious minds when it takes physical form often looks like belligerence. We will not step from this cycle fully until what is in us, what we hold, is more loving and more peaceful than it is now. Only by peacening the self and thereby the collective can we step from the cycle of belligerence and into a new set of possibilities. Peacening the self is the only doorway to true and lasting peace. Some resist peacening the self because they do not understand how powerful the process is. They say, "I am only one person, and there are billions of people here. I cannot do enough to help if I only peacein this one person, myself. I must exert my power. I must use my power to peacein that 1,000 people or that 100,000 people with laws, with pressure, with manipulation. That's how I can peacein the most people with my single life. That's how I can best help to bring about world peace." This misunderstanding is the reason that we have been in the cycle of belligerence for so long. It's the reason we have spent our efforts trying to peacein others which cannot be done. Peace must be chosen by the individual. This is law. One's love of peace and one's desire to change others to bring about peace cannot change this universal law. This law exists because our free will is honored by the universe. Our equality is honored radically and completely. It is understood universally that we are all worthy of honoring, and that in our supreme lovability, we are equal. You cannot peacein others with will, with manipulations, with any external act. You can pacify others, but it will only build resentment. You can pacify them and create a temporary ceasefire, but the resentment you build by pacifying them against their will build future belligerence. By pacifying others, you commit yourself and others to the cycle of belligerence. By peacening the self, you begin the process of freeing yourself and others from the cycle of belligerence. Put more succinctly, pacifying others by enforcing your will creates a belligerent future. Peacening the self creates a peaceful future. Returning to our misunderstanding, one might think, "I am only one person and there are billions here. I cannot do enough to help if I only peacein this one person, myself. I must exert my power and peacein many others. That's how I can peacein humanity the most with my one individual life." Peace, when enforced, is not peace. It is an act of human will. An act of human will has almost no power compared to the inherent power of peace. On the other hand, true peace, when it is chosen and when it enters the individual consciousness, simultaneously enters the collective consciousness, and once there, it peacens the collective consciousness profoundly. 1 minute of peace, when it enters the collective consciousness, balances into wholeness between 1,000 minutes and 1,000,000 minutes of what is not peace, meaning it is vastly more effective and more powerful to peace-in one individual self than to pacify, to attempt to peace-in against their will, 1,000,000 others. Pacifying builds resentment. Peacening the self builds future peace, and by way of its radical honoring, heals past acts of dishonoring. How do you build future hatred at a great rate? By not respecting the free will of others, by using your will, your human laws, your manipulations to create a situation that you deem preferable, which may not be preferable to others. When you assert your preference upon others, even a preference for peace, you create resentment, which quickly turns to hatred. You build what is not peace in the collective. Honoring the free will of others reduces resentment. From a place of reduced resentment, others can begin to feel more of their own inherent nature, which is a loving nature. From the place of recognizing their own loving nature, they are more likely to choose to act as themselves, to act in ways that are loving. Resentment is very loud. It is hard when one is experiencing resentment, which is a temporary state that results from not feeling honored, to hear the voice of one's true nature, which is consistent and which underlies all temporary states, including resentment, and one's true nature is loving. Honoring reduces resentment. Less resentment means more ability to hear one's own highest voice, which is a loving voice. I will end today just by saying thank you all so much for being here. I'm so grateful to have each and every one of you here as a part of Peace Class. Peace Class takes place every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time via Zoom. Peace Class is free and all are welcome to join us. Sign up for any week's Peace Class at prs.org/events. You can always forward the links to anyone you know. Anyone is welcome to click on the links and join us, whether or not they've signed up. It's an open public service for anyone who might be interested. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Next Peace Class is Wednesday, March 3rd. Hope to see you there. Have a beautiful week. And again, as always, thanks so much for joining me. I'm so grateful. See you next month.